Welcome to the next video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about an experience I had while living in Osaka, Japan, specifically in the suburbs of Osaka. This would have been about 2017. Now, when this story took place, or this experience took place, I was already living in the suburbs of Hirakata, specifically in Gotenyama, which is just south of the border of Kyoto province and in the northern suburban areas of Osaka. By this point, my Japanese was getting better. I was able to communicate things a little more effectively. Still not, at a intermediate fluent level, but enough that I can be understood and understand most things, or basic things. And I had started to venture out using the buses. I had some friends some expats mostly, who would take the bus and advise me about, oh, this is where you can pick up the bus, this is how much it is, this is the process. If you get an iCoca card, which is looks like a debit card, and you load money into it, you can use it on the trains, you can use it on the buses, and for a few other things, I think you could even get drinks from some vending machines from it, so it was really convenient. So, on one of my days off, and this is something I did quite frequently. I would get on my laptop, maybe after work or before work, thinking about what I was going to do on my day off or whenever I had free time, and I'd always, look at the GPS of the area where I was in, look around, see if there's anything interesting from the satellite imagery or, videos on YouTube or whatever. Try to find something that I wanted to check out. So, since I was in Hirakata, I wanted to check out another town on the other side of the river, and the name of the river by Hirakata escapes me, but again, it might just pop in my head later. So anyhow, I think it was Takatsuki, and I had been there before, at least on the outskirts, walking from Hirakata, crossing the river road bridge, and going to a couple shops closer to the bridge, but never going further into the town. So, or it might have been Ibaraki, one of the two. They're pretty close to each other. Anyhow, I had seen that there were, at Hirakata Station, or Hirakata-shi Station, there were buses, and they'd be there, most of the day, and they'd have the sign in English and in Japanese about where they're going to, the stops, all that kind of stuff, and you even had signage, at the bus stops. And different buses would be stopped in different places in the little roundabout area there. So, you didn't have to wait for different buses in the same spot. Go here for this bus, go there for that bus, and so on. So I go, great, I'm gonna go check out this place. I'm gonna take the bus and not have to walk in this heat anymore and spend like an hour walking there. Or more. So, notice one bus had the name of the place in English of where I wanted to go. I go, that's the one. Get in, paid, or I should say, I got in, because you always pay at the end of the fare on the way out. Sat down in the back, bus driver goes. I'm like, okay, here we go. Now, from Hirakata-shi Station to where I was trying to go was across the river, and I postulated there were maybe one or two stops along there. But I was hoping that because the name of the stop was on the bus, that would be the first stop. So I notice he starts going north. The bridge is just south of where we took off. I go, okay, well maybe there's a route, and he takes a different bus, or a different bridge, because there's a series of bridges that you can cross over to that other side of the river, and there's a bunch of towns along the way. I'm like, okay, so I guess this route's along this way. Turn, hits there, and then comes back. He stops. People get off. People get on. And he keeps going north. Stops, people off, people on. Keeps going north. And so on, and so on. At a certain point, he's near Kuzuha. Kuzuha is an area that's about, I want to say, maybe 3 stops or 4 stops north of Hirakata-shi. So where this story starts. And there's a major shopping area, and I believe there might be a university. Yeah, there's a university around there. And I had been there before. Oh, okay, this is interesting. So this bus goes here. Oh, this is an interesting route. You know, and I just kind of sit back and relax, and I see him cut through these side streets and stop again and continue and stop again and continue. And then he's taking this more winding road into the suburbs. So now we're no longer going north. He's heading east, I believe. And, you know, area's getting a little more rural, a little bit further away from where Kuzuha Mall was, that, you know, were shops and businesses and whatnot. Now it's more homes and it's a quieter area. And I see a sign for a university. So, okay, well, this is interesting. I get to see a Japanese university. So goes through, you know, in the gate, stops at the university, at the bus stop, and I think by that point I was maybe one of 3 people on that bus. You know, so the other people get out, and bus driver looks at me. He's like, "Oh, trying to figure out what to say." I think he gestures that it's the last stop. So at this point is when it, you know, dawns on me. Yeah, I have no idea where I'm at. And probably should have gone off a few stops earlier. Yeah. So using my phone, and thank goodness that Google Translate's there, I go up to him and I, you know, put in, "Hey, doesn't this bus stop at," because it had a sign and it said blah blah area. He goes, oh no. I think what he was trying to communicate at the time was that he probably finished up that shift. So there was probably a route that went from there to here, and now he was doing the new route, or maybe that's where he had started, but his actual route was this one. Point is, I had gone on the wrong bus. So now I'm trying to rack my brain. Okay, if I have to walk back, I'm gonna have to sit there with my GPS staring at it, and, you know, in the hot sun, and walk probably a few hours just to get back to Kuzuha, and then get the train back to the starting point. Fortunately, the driver was nice enough that he had to go back anyway to where we started. So he said, "Oh no, don't worry. You know, he was gonna go back." So he went back. So then I go to pay because I've been on the bus, and he says, "No, don't worry about it." Said, "Sure?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, you know, "Arigatou gozaimasu." And I walked out, and he pointed, "Go on that bus, and it'll take you there." And sure enough, first stop, right across the river. So that's my bus experience, or you know, bus attempt in Osaka, Japan. And afterwards, I never took the wrong bus again. Thankfully, Google has bus routes on it, so you know the exact number, and you know, you see the translations and whatnot. So once I figured that out, never ran into this situation ever again. But still, funny story. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next video.